So, we're going to be comparing two processors today, the S905D and the S912. Now these two boxes are totally different, two totally different price points as well. But we want to really see, is there any point in buying a more expensive box over the mid-range S905? So before we get to the performance of these two processors, we're going to unbox these two boxes. Now we've not shown these on this channel, so let's get to it. So this is the K1 Pro by Mecool. This comes with the S905D AMLOGIC processor. It also has Android Nougat as well. So this also comes with these DVB connections as well. It also has an antenna connection, so you can use your Freeview or your satellite connection if you wish, which is, unusual for a TV box. As well as that, we've got our 4 USB ports just on the side here. We've also got TF card slot and the usual power input, optical ports, HDMI cable and a LAN. As well as that, finally we've got the cable input, so if you've got cable at home, you can maybe make use of it. As well as that, we've got a power button just on the front there, which is unusual to see on a lot of TV boxes nowadays. Build quality is okay. It could do with a bit better plastic. This seems quite fragile, and overall, it's quite cheap. So moving on through the box, we've got this piece of foam, which is fantastic. We've also got this very cheap piece of cardboard, again, not that great. And as we've seen plenty of times on this channel, a very cheap instruction manual which serves very little purpose. Now we've got this. Well, I've not seen one of these IR remotes before. This is quite a big one. I don't suspect it's going to be much better than the usual IR remote you get on most TV boxes. I suspect you'll be better off with a Wi-Fi remote, what we've seen plenty of times on this channel. We've got the usual power supply. We think it's sent the EU1, but we live in the UK, so just remember to select whichever is appropriate for your country. And finally, we've got a HDMI cable. So let's move on to the Z69 Max, which is another S912 AMLOGIC TV box. Now the S912 is AMLOGIC's flagship processor, so we expect this to be a high performance system. But I suspect this is actually a cheaper one, because the box is very, very cheap and it leaves a lot to be desired actually. I'm quite surprised when I see S912 devices come in packaging like this. So here we are with the Z69 Max. Now this is quite just a bog standard sort of casing for this device. Very cheap plastic again. But one thing that stands out on this particular TV box is that it comes with 64GB of internal storage, which is quite a lot really. Now when we look around the device, we've got the Ethernet port on the back and standard HDMI. We've also got an optical port there, standard power input, and we've got 2 USB ports, which is not a lot really. I do like to connect lots of devices to my Android TV boxes. And finally we've got our TF card slot. So overall, pretty standard I think, but we'll see what sort of performance we get out of this when we connect it to the TV and compare it to the K1. Now as we look through the rest of the box, we've got some more cheap packaging. Such a shame, because it's quite an expensive box really when we're comparing it to devices like the Beelink GT1, which come with spectacular, well-designed boxes. Standard sort of plug that we've seen plenty of times before, again another EU1. We live in the UK, so totally pointless for us, but just remember to select the right one if you decide to purchase a box like that. A bit of an unusual IR remote I think, not something I've seen before, but again, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. We've also got our HDMI cable here, again, pretty standard. And finally, yes, you guessed it, a very cheap, very badly put together instruction manual. But we've come to get used to those things. So let's move on now. Let's compare these two boxes. Let's see how well they perform, and whether you should be buying an S905 or an S912.
Hey guys, Scott here, taking over for a little while. As you can see, we've got Asphalt 8 running on both the boxes simultaneously, so it's running on both the Z69 box, and at the same time we're running it on the K1 Pro. Now it's running really well. We've got it set to high graphics settings at the moment, and we're going to kind of gauge how it's going to run. Now, from just playing this and kind of viewing it back, we'd probably recommend bumping down the graphics settings to medium, maybe even low, but it still runs pretty well. So there's not actually a major difference though between these two processors, the S905D and the S912. So next up we're going to test some Modern Combat, and we're going to see how they're pitted against each other. So here we are on Modern Combat 5, and as you can see it's running pretty well on both devices, but I think in terms of performance the S905D wins in this round. Now that's the K1 Pro device. It's still running pretty well on the Z69, but I think it just edges ahead just ever so slightly on the K1 Pro. Okay guys, so now we have Cody running on the Z69 box, and it's running absolutely fine. We had absolutely no doubts about this whatsoever. And coming up just now, we've also got it running on the K1 Pro as well. Again, absolutely zero issue. So we're going to go ahead now and try some video playback on YouTube. So here are a couple of clips playing on YouTube at the moment, and as you can see they're both very nice and very vivid. But I think on this occasion the K1 is winning out again because the colours are slightly more vivid and it's got slightly better colour reproduction. But bear in mind that it isn't exactly a fair test because we are using YouTube at the end of the day.
Matthew back again. So this Mecool S905D is a pretty decent box compared to the Z69 S912. Now this Mecool also has DVB tuners built into the box. This pushes up the price somewhat, so you're probably sat there thinking, well, this Mecool's, pretty similar in price compared to the Z69. That is purely because of this DVB tuner capability. As you can see on screen, this enables you to use terrestrial TV, your antenna, as well as your satellite dish as well. Now, there's a lot more to choose in a TV box than just its processor. As we've seen, the S905 is fully capable compared to the S912, but we need to make sure we're actually choosing decent NAND flash and decent RAM, as well as a decent brand, but these two boxes are actually okay. But for the S912 Z69 there is much better examples out there, such as the Beelink GT1 or the T95Z. The Mecool, however, is, for what it is, using it as a DVB tuner, etc. If that's what you want, then this is certainly a box to consider. I think this pretty much concludes this video guys, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we shall see you in the next one.